first thing you do, you get in this car and you don't realize that this is going to be a car that drives like it does. I mean, Shannon drove it. She's the one been doing all the driving. I mean, she's totally tore up with this thing. You know, now all of a sudden now we need to have one of these. You know, thanks, Jim. The car is unique. It stands out. It doesn't look like anything else. It doesn't run like anything else, I don't believe. With all the effort you've put into this thing, man, the ride's awesome. It's just not what I expected a performance car to be.
It has the comforts, but yet when you do step on the pedal, it will let you know it's got the power.
It's pretty awesome. It's actually got two sounds. It's got its sound where you can just do your normal driving from 1500 to 2500. I mean, you just be on a cell phone or whatever, and it's not in any way altered. Get on the throttle, and you know, when it hits about 4200, all of a sudden it's like a switch goes off, and now it's in a race sound, and it's just awesome.
We got a lot of unique features on the car we want to show you. It's met Billy's approval along the way. Most of it's been by phone and conversations and a few little blips here and there on the internet of spy photos and some stuff sent back and forth. There will be a few changes made to this car for Billy's recommendation before it actually goes into production. So we're going to show you a little bit of things that we did and little concept things that we've done with the car for him to take a look at the show while he was here. Well, the power under the hood of this car, simply, it's a supercharger. It's a root-style supercharger. It has a shaker hood look to it, so basically when you shut the hood, it looks like the old school Mustang. It looks like the boss, the shaker Mustang of the 70s, early 70s. So we wanted that look, and we accomplished that look, but yet still had the modern supercharge of today's era to deliver the horsepower and the torque that you need. Around the front grille area, you can see there's a chrome trim, which is actually very unique to this car. It's pretty much the only car out there now that has this trim, and the front air dam, which also could be called a chin splitter there. That's it's a production air dam, but it's been modified to fit the car for the bigger opening for the heat exchanger for this supercharger. Well, as most of you know, this started off as an idea between Billy and myself, and he said, let's do it. So we had to get him a car to look at. We had to get him a concept car to drive. We had to get him a car to play with. Him and Shannon both took the car for a few days. Well, we did. We had about 2.5 to 3 weeks to put this together. And in the last hours of putting it together, it actually came together very well. Yes, it's missing a couple badges, and there's a few small changes that he wants to make to the car. But for 85% of it, the car is right. It's done. It's perfect. And it was put together in 3 weeks of 11, 12-hour days in our shop by our team of guys, Sean, Craig, and myself.
You know, we're just showing this to give you the idea of what we're actually going to be doing here. This doesn't really represent exactly what the look is going to be. I mean, there's going to be some anodized here and some polish there and coloration differences so that you can actually pull out. But you know, everyone knows me as BG. I'm not really known as Bill Glidden. I'm known as BG. I mean, my Yellow Bullet family and everyone, I don't put my name on the race cars, and it seems to be important to people that I have some kind of representation on the race car that we raced this year. So we started out with my name, but I switched it to BG. That's what people know me. Well, we've been looking at a lot of different wheels, but you know, I've had a long-lasting relationship with Mickey Thompson, and you know, we brought Carl Robinson from Weld Wheels. I mean, you know, when things were a little bit different and, you know, everybody was trying to see where they need to be, I was one of the ones who strongly suggested that we bring on Carl to Mickey Thompson. Mm-hmm. And Mickey Thompson had their own wheel line, but we really didn't have a strong force in the wheel line. And, you know, one of the things that we'd like to do is actually design a wheel to where its origination is with this car.
Unique to the car, yeah. That gives the owners of the car to say, I got my own wheels, nobody else has got.
Well, there's going to be a lot of things that this car has that owners are going to say, I've got the only one. And, I mean, as we go through time, you're going to see it. One thing we're trying not to do with this car, or we're not going to do with this car, is we're not making something that is all blinged out with spinners and trinkets and gadgets and necklaces hanging off of it. I mean, we're not looking for that. We're looking for something.
That's not the Billy Glidden style.
No, we're looking for something that we can keep the weight down and keep the drag of this thing down and keep the power as good as we can. Make this thing as drivable as you can. It's just many of the trademarks of what I stand for. My cars, you don't really see. Even my race cars, you never see my cars come out blubbering and stumbling and having problems and hard to stage and that's what I want this thing to be. I want it to represent what we have been.
Exactly. Well, that's the reason why we gave it to you to drive for the last couple of days, to make sure you had your hand in what the tuning was supposed to be.
Well,
Lord knows you're one of the world's best tuners.
Well, I've driven here in the last month a couple of different cars of, let's just say, today's era.
Mm-hmm.
And you certainly know what I felt about those cars.
Right.
I've been fortunate that I've been able to team up with someone here that understands tuning with what you're doing, the way I feel like we understand with the tuning what I do. And, I'm not going to be proud to have my name on something that is something that we're spending time teaching people how to drive. I mean, people need to be able to get in this thing, start it up, and go and be happy. And when you park this thing somewhere, you're wanting to park it out of the way. And when you come back, you got people looking at it. I mean, it's going to be neat that this is going to be something that you worry about if it's going to still be sitting there in the morning.
When you get back from the shopping mall.